Hi, my name is MEP Corazza Bildt. I'm a member of the European Parliament for the Moderate Party in Sweden and of the European People's Party. I've been responsible in Parliament for the report on a more efficient and fair retail market in Europe, which was adopted by overwhelming majority in Strasbourg in July. In my report, I take up specifically the added value of direct selling. I'm impressed how much it provides for both flexibility and diversity. Part-time jobs, jobs for young as much as older people, and people from different backgrounds. I like that it gives focus to women empowerment and innovative ways of selling, as much as the invaluable human and social dimension of direct selling. I'm myself an entrepreneur. I feel part of this assembly today. I've been driving and setting up 2 small companies, including online selling. Now let me tell you that when I visited in Stockholm, welcomed by Magnus Brandström, the head of Oriflame, the headquarters of Oriflame, I was truly impressed that the first thing I was shown was the walls of values, with the placards of the impressive history of this company, who managed to combine success, commercial success, with working for a better world. It was also an honor and a pleasure to be part of the Direct Selling Annual Gala Dinner. And together with Robert Avjavnak, you should know that in Sweden he's an absolute legend, to give the prizes for the best direct sellers of the year in Sweden. I was impressed by the warmth, the team spirit, the empowering atmosphere among the direct selling community in Sweden, and I met fantastic people. I also enjoyed very much in Brussels to be part of the Global Do-It-Yourself Summit organized by EDRA and FEDIMA, and to receive firsthand your ideas and comments on my report. Thank you for the chance of presenting it. Actually, it was the first time I was presenting it after it was adopted. I really appreciate the opportunity to get better to know your impressive business. You also showed, at least that evening, it was fairly clear that you have a good cooperation and dialogue between retailers, suppliers and manufacturers of the direct selling business. As you know, we didn't shine up in our report to take up controversial issues, and your good example can maybe be also a model for other businesses. Now, in the Internal Market Committee and Consumer Protection of the European Parliament, as an entrepreneur, I am deeply committed to facilitate and simplify for business, especially SMEs, reduce red tape, administrative burdens and bureaucracy. At the moment, as you know, Europe is focusing on austerity measures, economic governance packages to deal with the debt crisis. Finally, there is an understanding that is emerging that we cannot continue to spend ourselves into growth. We cannot any longer promote growth through stimulus. We have to promote growth to relieving the amazing potential of the internal market. We have to promote growth through true market integration. It's then about time that we put back the real economy at the center of the political agenda. Unfortunately, the response to the crisis has often been more protectionism, more obstacles. What we need for more competitiveness, growth and job, it's instead tearing down the walls and opening up for the internal market. In this context, of course, time has come to recognize the role of retailers as drivers for growth. There's often the idea that manufacturers are those producing, while retailers are only selling. This, I hope, has really gone away with our report. The retail has been recognized as a pillar of the internal market. We managed to put it at the heart of the EU policy-making map as never before. In this context, I'd like to fast show you what has really been the main achievements for this year in terms of driving this agenda. The Single Market Act that we initiated has been adopted in the spring. It's an historic and decisive step to move forward with the vision of a well-functioning Europe. And concrete measures for free movements of goods, persons, services, financial means, both physically and digitally, will be taken by the Commission within 2012. First 12 priorities ranging from intellectual property rights, consumer services, e-commerce, public procurement, e-signature, e-authentication, mutual recognition of professional qualifications, and so on. We managed to introduce in the Single Market Act the importance of retail, calling for an action plan for retail. This will give you a chance to feed in the Commission in dialogue and to really make your voice heard. What are your problems, your challenges, and how you want to find solutions together with us. Can you imagine that a toy has to be retested before you buy it for your child cross-border? Why does a chair has to have a certification against torture, and the car has to be re-registered to be moved from one member state to another? Why does the same cheese need to be repacked to be sold in another member state? The reality is that more hidden and hideous restrictions have been adopted in recent years, not to talk about tax laws, trade laws. My report on a more efficient and fair retail market in Eurozone is about removing barriers, borders and burdens to free movement of goods and services. This is the backbone of European integration. My report is a call for action. Our vision, my vision, is a holistic, long-term approach with high-level political commitment and focus to what we can make a difference at community level to unleash the full potential of the retail market. So now concretely, what is it that we ask for? We urge Member States to better implement existing internal market legislation, such as the Small Business Act, the Late Payment Directive, the Goods Package, the Service Directive, of course also competition law, and the newly adopted Consumer Rights Directive. Let me say a few words on that, because that's going to make a big, important difference for you. We managed to have at least harmonized cross-European rules for information and the guarantees for return. 14 days throughout Europe for claims on return. This is not perfect, it's not everything we wanted, but it's a very important step forward that will help also direct sellers. We then call on the Commission to be tougher in its supervising role and taking action against breaches of internal market, simplifying and accelerating infringement procedures. We stand for freedom of contract, of course. Competition has to be free and also fair. Consumers don't want only low prices, they want value for money. We recognize that B2B relations are complex. There is no black and white. But there is a lot of tension and frustration on all sides that takes away resources from the market across the supply chain. In Parliament, a lot of concern has been raised about market dominance, unfair commercial practices, intransparent conditions, for instance, unjustified mechanism of selective distribution, price control, delisting without notice, that complicate access to the market and distort competition. I'm glad that the line I have been driving very strongly for self-regulation and voluntary initiative by the stakeholders was broadly endorsed by Parliament. I truly believe the measures that are shaped and owned by those concerned can be more effective in solving problems, rather than measures that we parachute top-down as policymakers. But I would like just to give you a flavor of the debate. At the beginning, it was denial. We were told that everything was just bad-mouthing, misperceptions, it was the media, and we moved little but surely, to try to promote common ground based on facts, data and evidence. 8 months of intense consultation have been for me a fantastic journey, and are also already bearing some of the fruits I was hoping for. I'm encouraged to see right now that the retail community is moving from confrontation and finger-pointing to a direct and constructive dialogue. We're of course not reinventing the wheel. A lot is happening within the existing platform for dialogue. Just now we are seeing some concrete results. Stakeholders are in the process of agreeing on a common set of good trading principles. It's important to support them in this process and to acknowledge the results achieved so far. Our report is a living document. It's based on a vision of shared responsibility. With the action plan, we also have a chance to recognize the amazing achievements of the retail community, not least in creating jobs, including during a crisis, and taking social and green responsibility. We want to encourage direct sellers to continue to invest in R&D, in innovation, to be at the forefront of sustainability, specifically on energy efficiency, packaging, logistics, transport, waste disposal, and train your people. In order to have a comprehensive approach, we have taken a cross-parliamentary committee for the action plan. And also, all options remain open, because we will have a yearly roundtable where the stakeholders, Parliament, the Commissions, the Presidency will have a chance to really assess the results, analyze and give recommendations and move forward. The roundtable that you organized today is a right step in this direction, and I hope that next year the Commission should present the action plan by the beginning of next year, and the roundtable should be around sometime in the spring. I hope many of you will be part of this and will continue to be engaged in this dialogue. Trade has always been a driving force for progress, economic development and peace. We should not give in the wind of protectionism blowing across Europe. We should together stand up for the vision of a truly border-free Europe. Thank you so much for your attention.